Start us up on YouTube, and good morning, everybody. We had a pretty strong gap up from the Friday into Sunday session because the ES and EU have come up with a tariff deal. So the US is going to be hitting the EU with a 15% tariff, sort of a trade deal, whereas the EU will not be hitting the US with any tariffs of their own. So that's sort of the resolution, the deal they've come up with. Let me get my screen up there for our community here, Bullishbrs. YouTube, good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. And let's get started, guys. We'll start on our daily time frame. First thing we note is we made new all-time highs already. We already had a nice new high a day, new all-time highs made overnight. Something we wanted to take a look at. Mark out our open price. We're currently trading below our open. We had a gap higher. So something we could look for is to see if we want to fill that gap. I want to keep this 63.99 level here. This blue one I have marked out. This was a pretty strong key level. It does line up with previous day low as well. If we're looking for the gap fill to happen, yo, good morning, Jay. What's going on? Jay, Lil AR on YouTube. What's poppin', guys? Mr. Concentrator, Austin, Harvey, what's up? Eddie, Joel, Ryan, good morning, guys. The early crew here on Discord, too. Alright, let's see. So, let's mark out our gap fill price today, because I do want to know where our gap fill price is on the ES. So, here's our 30-minute time frame. We're coming to our 3:30 candle, because 3:30, 30-minute time frame closes at 4 o'clock. That's our New York session close. We're going to mark this with our gap. Now, this could be a possible target to the downside if the ES can open somewhere below. Now, let's check edge fill. I think edge fill gives us the range of 0.19% is is sort of the sweet point for gap fill to be filled with like a very high percentage. But we'll probably see also on the gap fill that we've been filling it a lot lately. So let's see, gap fill. Oh, not really. Gap ups? Nope. Standard New York session. Gap ups have barely been filling, so that's something interesting. We could take our gap fill and go by size, and then we'll use our measurement tool, and I'll show you. So look, 0 to 0.19%. That means our gap up would have to be at least this 0.19%, right? So if we measure it from that gap price higher, 19% is right there, 12 points. So we can mark this out and say, okay, I'm looking for the New York session to open, and we'll make this like a light blue, and we'll do ny.o.19%. New York open 19% gap fill, right? That's what we were sort of looking for at that price level. So we'll look to see. We'll keep that price level marked out because right now, guys, it's only 840. So this pre-market could push higher. It could open somewhere up here. It could push lower. It could open somewhere down here. Right now, we are currently trading above our previous day high. So I would like to see if we can come back within that range and target higher. This is our open price right here, not our gap price. So here's our open. This is where our New York, not our New York session, our overnight, our future session opens. So that's at 6 p.m. Eastern every day. That's where we mark out our open price. That sort of gives us an idea of if we're trading bearish off of our open or if we're trading bullish off of our open. Right now we are pushing lower, so we're red on the daily candle, but we have to remember we're above that previous day high. We could check our gap fill on the 0.2% to 0.39%. And again, I see that the gap ups barely been filling. So if I'm looking at the ES here, and we'll take a look real quick too, and we'll also pull up Bookmap, guys. Don't forget, we keep Bookmap up for our intraday day trading to see where some price levels might be sitting. Let's see where, I think I have Bookmap up already. Beautiful. Too ahead of myself. Let's get ES Trade Map Lite on here. So guys, there's ES Trade Map Lite, and then there's ES Rhythmic. Trade Map Lite is just pulling the information from Rhythmic and using some filters on it, so we're not getting a whole bunch of extra levels. It sort of takes away that extra algo when the New York session is open, and we see like a whole lot of liquidity sitting all around the bid and the ask. Like, you guys know when the New York session's open on Bookmap, how it's all yellow up top, all yellow on the bottom, and it's constantly moving and following the bid and the ask. So that doesn't really give us good information. So what Trade Map Lite does is it gets rid of that extra information and just keeps those steady levels. A lot of levels to the upside and the downside. You know what I'm thinking, guys? Instead of looking for that gap fill, we might want to look for the orb, the opening range breakout. Let's take a quick look here and see. Let's just take a quick look at this gap fill one more time. So again, 0.2%. It does say 78% chance of getting filled, and that's up to 0.39%. So let's try to find that 0.39% marker too. So we'll open it from our gap price. So there's our 19%. Now here's our point. We are looking for 0.39%. That's all the way up here, which if you stretch it a little bit, there we go. 0.39%. So we're going to throw our trend line up there, or what is it, horizontal ray. And we're going to plot that right here. And we're going to call that 0.39%. Gap size. So again, we're just sort of keeping an eye on what is going on at these price levels, and this will sort of help us come up with our New York session trading setup. Because if we're able to open above the 0.39%, then we're only going to be looking for longs. We definitely will not be looking for a gap fill. Right now, if we can open below this price level and this price level right here, we're going to delete this one's not helpful. If we could open somewhere below the 64.51 on the ES, making a 0.39% size on the gap fill, I'm going to look for us to move lower, fill the gap, and then I'm going to look for us to find support in this zone right here. Look at how this area worked as resistance for the past 2 trading sessions. Now I want to see us, we had a strong gap higher, I want to see us come lower and find some support at that same area. Yo, good morning, Leo. What's going on, man? Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all ready for a great trading day. It's gonna be some good stuff today, man. So right now, I would like to see New York session open somewhere below 64.51. Fill that gap, find some longs in demand, and look for, well, those longs. Look for buyers to step in and possibly bring us back above the open, new high a day, new all-time highs. Guys, we're at new all-time highs right now. We just had news on the weekend of a tariff deal, right? New York session, we're going higher. I'm bullish on the day right now. That geopolitical market sentiment's telling me bullish. So when New York session opens, we'll review the price action, we'll review what price levels we're trading at, and come up with a plan based off of those levels. We'll revisit the highs in the cash market, then dump. I know, bro, that's what I'm thinking. I don't know about going there and then dumping. I'd love to see. So, guys, think of it this way, too. Because we're gapping up higher, a lot of people who might have been in a swing position might look to take profits on that New York session open. When people are taking profits off the open, what happens is the market's going to pull back. So, again, I would like to see us pull back and hold around this 6,420. Because it's a key psych level, right? Who's not watching the level 420? But, no, I'm just kidding. But all in all, 6,420, 6,425, 6,430. These are price levels intraday that we want to keep an eye on. But most importantly, because this was an old resistance point, that's what really has me, guys. This was an old resistance point. We broke it. Now I want to see it hold as support. I was looking to see if there were any demand zones. We have a few. There's like one over here, one down here. But I'd much rather see how we react to this broken supply zone first. And because, again, like those economic data, the economic news that's coming out, the tariff deals. Guys, the first time we had a tariff deal was down here, when the market gave us a 10% rally in one day. Second tariff deal was when we were squeezing over here. This is when the overnight, right? They said, okay, we now have a new trade deal with China, and that also gave us another push higher. This pullback was brought to us by yields increasing, right? But that didn't give us a full-on reversal. It just gave us a pullback to the support zone. So look at this, guys. This was a supply zone, worked as resistance. Then we were above it, we worked as support. This is on the daily time frame. I'm looking for something like that to happen today off of the hourly or lower time frame. So that's what I am looking for on the ES today. I would like this as a demand zone, guys, but the reason I'm not marking it out is because we had a gap, and that's what created the zone. So usually if we create a demand zone, it would have to have our basing like this, a rally, and then continuation. This one, the rally, doesn't even break this recent candle's high, and it doesn't really have continuation either. We just gapped up. That wasn't price action, that wasn't volume, that was nothing. Alright, so let's see. So this is what I'm looking for on ES. Take a quick screenshot, see what's happening. Now this is the gap fill. So again, same thing. Look to see if we could possibly get a gap fill. Could maybe even look to take a short for that gap fill, but it's going to definitely depend on like market structure and market sentiment at that point. What do I mean by that? Sort of like the volume analysis portion, where like if we have a lot of selling delta, like let's say selling delta just comes in really hot and we go from positive 1700 to negative 200. Like we drop 1900 in the volume delta, then yes, I'm going to look for those shorts to continue to head towards that gap fill and that 6420. If we don't, right, and we stay sort of strong on the delta while we're pulling back, that's going to keep my bullish bias. Let's see. So we can look at, let's see. We'll also, again, like I said before too, we'll also look at the orb opening range breakout, because that might also give us an idea of like, should we look for a break higher first, right? And then a reversal afterwards. Then we could use our orb and our gap size, right? So let's say the New York session opens somewhere over here, and the first 15-minute candle low goes down here, and the first 15-minute candle high goes over here, right? If it stays within this range, and we're still below that 0.39% because we opened below it, that's all that matters is the open, not where we're currently trading, is where we open. Then I might look to see if we could break higher first, and look to see if we can close back within the range on the 5-minute time frame, because it will be a 15-minute orb, so 5-minute close back within the range, and then target that double break and that gap fill. So that might be another trade setup we're looking for. So we're really staying patient today, and we're going to look to see what markets want to present. We could also take a look at the VIX, is going to be very important too, but I did want to just grab a quick screenshot of the ES and those possible plans we're looking at. So let's take a quick screenshot of that. Wonderful. Do a quick little write-up on that, what we're looking at, what we see, and why we see it. So this is the S&P 500. ES, SPY, SPX, S&P 500, whatever you want to call it. Just don't call it NASDAQ. Haha, instead of late for dinner. S&P 500. So we have some strong economic data and news coming out, with the ES and EU coming up with a trade deal, period. The US will be taxing 15% on EU imports, while the EU will not be adding a tariff to the US, period. Markets are looking to open higher today, so I'd like to see if we can follow this trend. Again, just a basic write-up. Why are we watching this market? What are we looking for in this market? What's giving us our general bias in this market? We have some strong economic data and news coming out with the ES and EU. I said the ES, the US and the EU coming up with a trade deal. The US will be taxing 15% on EU imports, while the EU will not be tariffed to the US. Awesome, wonderful. So the price level I'm really watching, and again, this is where sort of like the gap fill and the old support come in play. So gap fill. If we open below 6451.39%, then we have about a 70% chance of filling the gap fill. 51.39%. Again, just sort of going over what we're watching, why we're watching it, how we're watching, how we're using it in our system, how we're using it in our plan. So gap fill, if we open below 6451.39%, then we have about a 70%, that is a 78% chance of filling that gap. I will use the orb or bookmap volume to look for this gap fill to hold. Gap fill to hold. For shorts, right? And that's sort of the first trade setup I'm looking for off the New York session open. Can we find some shorts setting up in the first 30 minutes of the day? So we can look for that 10 o'clock, 10:15 reversal back to the upside based off the economic news that we have that trade deal coming in. So that's gap fill. Now what are we looking at? So we can look at the orb. And it looks like we've had breakouts or double breaks the past 5 days in a row, right? So we've had 3 double breaks and then 2 breakouts. The past 2 days, we've had 2 breakouts. So we'll take a quick screenshot of that too. That's also very important to keep an eye on. So the gap, the orb. So that gives me, why is this important? Because this gives me an idea of, okay, well, guess what? Now, if we have a break to the downside first, then I could look for us to have that double break, right? The odds are we've either had double breaks or breakouts. Look at the streak, by the way. Since the 15th, we've had either a oh no, this was a breakdown. Since the 16th, we've had a double break or breakouts. For the most part, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trading days. We've had those breakouts or double breaks. 5 of them, we've had double breaks. We get the breakdown first. I'll look for support inside that demand zone. We have had a double break or break out for the past. There's a clip of Trump his what's it called? I think it was his caddy cheating for him on the golf course. And I wrote, what's worse, getting caught cheating on golf or getting caught cheating at a Coldplay concert? All right, so we've had a double break.
Presidential privilege.
Yeah, right, right. 100%, of course. Pardoning his ball. Or breakout for the past 8 trading days. So if we can break down first, I will look for support near our broken supply around 64.20 for longs targeting new all-time highs. Nice, solid write-up. Good stuff. You know what we're looking for today, that's for sure. That's at least on the ES too, so we could also take a look at gold and the NASDAQ. You guys let me know what you want to look at first. The NASDAQ or gold? NAS or gold? Give me 1 second just to send this out to some socials. You guys go follow on Instagram, on everywhere really. On Instagram, Facebook, X, everything and everywhere. Day trading, futures. I think somebody messaged. Give me 1 sec. Let's see. Gold. What up, Trader Ted? We'll look at gold next then. Awesome. Gold has been dropping, man. I'm going to be bearish on gold today, that's for sure. We're getting some strength in equities. We're going to be bearish on gold. That's how the cookie crumbles. No, they don't. I'll always say this every time I mention this, right? They don't inverse each other. They could both be pushing higher, right? They could both be in sort of a strong market. But when it's way stronger for the economy, right? The overall markets are looking strong, then that's certainty in the economy. When there's certainty in the economy, gold performs poorly. Gold is something that is considered a safe haven. What does that mean? When you hear safe haven, you should automatically consider it as something people jump into when there's worry or concern or uncertainty. So when there is more certainty, like a tariff deal, a trade deal coming through, that is certainty. So that could help prompt the economy, that could help prompt the stock market, and that could possibly bring markets back lower. But just remember, guys, this was gold on the end of April. So, right, so did still push higher. At Liberation Day, it was right over here. Gold and ES and Q, they were both pushing higher. This was the last time gold made an all-time high, though, was that last April. ES and Q, they have been making all-time highs since then, like pretty continuously. So with that being said, I also have, now you guys know I'm not a big trend line trader. However, look at this trend line we have up here. When I use trend lines, guys, I'm not just looking at the trend line itself. I'm really looking at the higher lows we're creating, right? So we've had a higher low, higher low, higher low. Then right here, this last higher low, we just broke it right now, right? We broke it on this current daily time frame. If we could get below this, this is like super bearish territory in my opinion. So let's throw a trend line up here, and we're going to call this just emojis, bears, super bears. We'll call it super bear. That way we'll give a little shout out to Superman. But super bearish below this price level on gold. We've had, look at the previous days of price action too. Volume picked up on this day where we started to sell off. It's continuing lower. Price is continuing lower. Volume is still sort of staying high. We got to see how volume comes in today. All right, guys, give me half a sec. Let's see. Trade with Kev. Follow me on X, Trade with Kev. I gotta start posting on there a little bit more. I do repost like these morning market analysis write-ups. You guys take a look at that. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's see. Hey, good morning. Way this week. Yeah, absolutely, Dan. No problem. No problemo. Alright, let's take a look at gold. Let's put Edgeful away for a moment, and let's pull up gold on Bookmap so we could take a look at some price levels, see if we have anything of support or resistance above or below us. First, though, I do want to take a look at, here's gold on our daily, our previous day high, our open price, and our previous day low. Now let's take a look at our 6 hour, 4 hour, 3 hour, really looking for a new supply zone that formed. 2 hour, not really seeing much. A little bit of a 2 hour supply right here. Mark that out. Though gold wasn't quite an August seasonality. Probably right. Right, and again, that sort of comes with economic, the geopolitical, what's going on in the economy, what's going on in the world. Let's do S2 hour. So 33.71 is where I like to find like A+ setup shorts on gold. Now, I don't think we're going to pull back all the way up there. I'm thinking maybe 33.50 is a pretty good level. Let's delete. Let's see. I'm trying to find some price levels I can delete, or at least start to fade a little bit. They're not as prominent. There we go. That's good, because now we could watch this green, this demand zone worked as support pre-market yesterday, and then we failed it. So that could also be 33.54, 33.53, 33.42, 45. There we go. The 50's pretty strong up there, but that would call for a pretty strong pullback on gold, like 30 points. We do have some targets to the downside as well. CVD is currently green on gold, so I'd probably leave gold alone right now. I'd essentially be looking for shorts, but I'd like to see much better price action in a sense of finding some structure behind us on this push lower. What do I mean by that? Well, that would be like some type of 30-minute supply zone, 15-minute supply zone, like something telling me, hey, we're looking good for continuation. Like right here, it could possibly be 30-minute supply zone, because we have our basing, we have our sell-off, and it looks like we're trying to find continuation, but at the moment we're holding this previous day low price level at 33.25.5. So we'll wait, because we also see the buying pressure, we see aggressive buying volume with the volume bubbles, We also see CVD is starting to climb higher as well. It's been green for a little bit on gold, not taking those shorts yet. To add an alert here, 33.35 on gold. That might be the next area I might look for shorts. Mark this out as an S30 minute. This is a 30-minute supply zone I was looking at. Check our 15-minute too. Not really seeing anything, so that's good. We have a low volume shelf right at 33.31. Oh, wait. Yeah, right over here. 31.2. Is that a fair value gap? Oh, yeah, we got a little bit of a imbalance right here. 31.2. 31.2. Okay, that's interesting. We'll keep a close eye on this price level. Possible gold trade right there. Bum, bum, bum. And a pretty nice one at that, because if it wants to try to hold that price level, could be in for a real like tight entry. But we'll keep an eye. I'll let you guys know if I take this. We'd have to find good resistance up there. So you see how we have some positive buying coming up? There we go. CVD starting to curve back lower. That's what I want to see. But I want to see us closer to this 33.31.2. Is what I'm looking for on gold. ES and NQ. Take a look where ES is. Good. ES is trying to still close below that 19%. The lower we could open on the ES, right, the better for the gap fill and then that long entry inside that demand zone. Crude oil, probably just going to leave that one alone again. Still like zero certainty in it. Zero. Let's see, a supply zone right here. Delete this one's sort of broke a few times, not relevant anymore. Look at our daily, previous day high, previous day low. Guys, even if you don't trade oil or gold or something like that, and you do have a little time in the morning, it's helpful to mark them up because it gives you some extra experience and extra practice on marking up a chart. Now, of course, if you're just getting started, you're better off like mainly trading one or two, right? And focusing on those 1 and 2 so you could sort of get a feel for how they trade. Do they trade the same way every day? Absolutely not. We know that. But they sort of, I don't want to, in terms have a groove, right? Where you know, okay, NASDAQ is a little more aggressive. ES, I could find some better entries with Bookmap because A, B, and C. So we get that ability, we get that option. We just have to take the time to gain that experience and get used to one or the other. We'll add an alert on gold up here. What is that? Add alert on VWAP. Oh, okay, now add alert. Gold finding a little bit of a wide spread here, and we see that because on Bookmap, all these black levels, this is the bid and the ask. So if it's a black level, that's very low volume, so it's probably going to see some volatility. Yeah, would only really consider shorts on gold and longs on ES and NQ. So I'd like to see us open somewhat lower on ES and NQ. And then find some longs. Excuse me. And then find some longs after the fact. We could take a look at our equities. See where they're opening at. Meta had a small gap from its open, still within previous day's range. Microsoft's within previous day's range. Apple within previous day's range. Nvidia's pretty close to breaking that previous day's high. Was close to trading above it. It's trying to right now. It's near that 175 key psychological level. This might be new all-time highs. Yeah, Nvidia new all-time highs overnight. So I'd add an alert here on Nvidia and look to see if we could break that recent previous day high as a new all-time high. I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, we're getting there, guys. If we could break that previous day high on Nvidia, that's just a new all-time high. That's going to help our bullish sentiment. Amazon is above its previous day high. Tesla, oh no, it's Google. Good. I was going to say boo Tesla, but Google keeps rejecting this gap, guys. That's wonderful, but we're keep squeezing on it. So now this is great because now it's lining up like we're going to fail the sell-off. We're going to squeeze higher. What do I mean by squeezing on it? Well, the first time we came into it, we sold off. Second time we opened into it, we sold off again. Third time we opened below it, we hit it. And when we tried to sell off, we failed to sell off when we squeezed against this zone. So that tells me buyers aren't giving up that easy. Buyers are keep trying to hold price higher. Sellers keep trying to hit it lower. Buyers aren't giving up. So once sellers can fail, we could probably see a strong move higher on Google here. And that again would help our bull thesis, our bullish bias on ES and NQ. So, again, overall sort of on the bull run right now. Looking for buyers. Pre-market is looking bearish. That's wonderful. It's what we want to see. Gold found some selling pressure before hitting our entry point. That's okay. ES finding a little selling as well. I'd like to see ES support 64.20. We have 64.25 as a buyer. 64.15 is another pretty strong price level. That is below my broken supply zone. Let's double check, make sure we're not missing any demand zones below this price level. We did have this 30-minute demand right here. That's right at 64.1475. So now I have two areas of support I'm really looking for, and I'm going to use Bookmap to confirm which one is going to hold. So let's see, D 30-minute. So 30-minute demand, 64.1475. That's a lot closer to that 64.15 price level. So maybe we break through it for a moment, hit that demand, and start to hold. Once we break back above 64.1550, we could trigger our entry around 64.16. Stop loss below around 64.1450. You know, like a 1.5 of a stop loss, almost 2-point stop loss maybe. And then look to try to ride that back higher for maybe 10-15. But we'll keep an eye on that. Good, gold found a bit of a pullback. That's why we're leaving it alone right now. CVD's been climbing higher. Oil with the pump. But oil, guys, I don't like oil because it's running into this big resistance point. Look at this big red zone I have. Sellers came in once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. So to go long in that zone, not the best move. Not the best move, and we're coming into that zone. So we'll see. Would we have any supply zones up there we could be shorting? Well, we did have this supply zone that's below us now, so this might actually work as a demand zone. So let's check this S1 hour. And previous day high was right there too. Okay, so that might actually be something on oil longs. But we'd really need to come back to... What are those? I forget what these are. I gotta get them off the chart though. Strength level. Okay, so 66.55. It's right near this key level over here. So possible longs on oil anywhere in this area. Target new high a day, wherever new high a day will end up being. We have an alert there. We're prepared. YouTube, make sure you hit that like button if you're ready to make some money today. ES moving lower, getting closer to that gap fill. New York session opens in 20 minutes, guys. 20 minutes. You guys want to take a look at the NASDAQ, see what's going on NQ? NQQ. QQQ. Especially because equities were looking pretty strong. When I say equities, I am referring to large cap tech. Ooh, oil with a quick pullback there. Look how volatile and quick we started moving here, guys, off of that 9 o'clock. Let's see, Tuesday, jolts at 8:30, right? No, jolts at 10. And today's Monday. We don't really have anything major. We have Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index at 10:30. Not the biggest of impacts right there. There we go. Nas with a little selling. Some strong selling will bring us through those levels. All right, let's mark up NASDAQ, find our gap fill on NQ, see what's popping. 345, here's our gap fill. So our gap fill lines up right with this broken supply zone on NASDAQ too. So again, same situation where it's like we got all this support building up right below our previous day high, right near our gap fill price. Could be lining up to sort of hold us, or a lot of people could be watching these levels and we could blow right through them, right? Like we used to say, we're either going up or we're going down. But we'll see. When oil goes up, bearish for markets. No, oil's sort of similar as gold. Not, if anything, more so that has nothing to do with the markets. Oil could be skyrocketing. Oil again is more of its own economy, right? So oil inventories, oil supplies, oil being traded through country to country, oil inventories, these all have their own sort of ecosystem. Whereas gold is more market related, ES and Q, obviously they are the markets, oil is its own thing. So let's see, gold chopping around still, man. Crude pulling back finally. Take a look at oil over here. We do have a low volume shelf around 56 to 49. 56 to 49. Okay, so that could possibly be a setup on oil right here. A little 5-to-1 risk to reward. If we could find some support near this low volume shelf down here. Now we have an even bigger low volume shelf near 24, 66, 24. And that's going to be right at probably this pivot right here. Right below, that's 30. Here's 22. So 24 is right here. We'll even stretch that out a little bit too. But I think I'm a bit more interested in the one that's higher up. Because if we're going to hold strong, we're going to hold the one that's higher up. What's up, YouTube guys? Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We're going over oil, gold, ES, NQ. We're waiting for New York session to open. We got about 17 minutes until then. I'd like to see ES open above its gap. If it opens below the gap fill, that would be something, man. That would be something. Because again, then we got to remember that the edge full stats telling us we've had either breakouts, right? We've had 2 breakouts the past 2 days in a row, or double breaks those other days. So we had 4 days of double breaks, 2 days of breakouts. The past 2 days have been breakouts. That's sort of the trend we're seeing right now. Yo, good morning, Robert. What's going on, man? Turk, Trader Ted, what's up? Smooth, Siva, RP, good morning, guys. Kevin, what's up? What's up? Austin, Mike, good morning, everybody. What? Dude, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to take some trades, make some money. Let's see. And another reason I'm looking at this low volume shelf too here, around 56.55, 66.55, I should say, is because it was an area of resistance on oil for a little bit. So we're above it. I'd like to see it hold as support. We sort of already did that. Look, right here. We broke it. We came back into it near 51. And then we held it and made a new high off of that. So we could see, what is that, 51? See if we could possibly maybe sweep 51 over there. That's right here. No, 51's even lower than that. No, what? 52. So then 51 is right there. So just sort of another specific price level I'm watching on oil. Gold chopping its way. CVD has been trying to squeeze lower on gold. That's sort of a good sign for the bears. Yo, what up, Turk? Good morning. Yo, Dave, you're right, man. I gotta get us a good edge full discount. I gotta make a little to-do list today. I want to reach out to Bookmap for a better sale. Bookmap. Because right now, you get 20% off the first month, which isn't the worst, but we could probably push for something better. Bookmap better sale. Bookmap, Edgeful. Again, same thing with Edgeful. I don't know if we get a specific discount or anything off. It might be same thing where it's like 10 or 20% off. But just to sort of clarify what it is. Bookmap, Edgeful. I'll reach out to TradingView. They don't get back too quickly, but it doesn't hurt to reach out. TradingView, and Apex, of course, we're still chilling. Whatever the best running recurring sale is, you guys get with discount code Bullishbrs. I do believe they have their 90% sale running, a little summer sale, they're calling it. Apex Trader Funding, 90% off evals, a day and a half left on that. Use discount code Bullishbrs. paid out over 535 million in payouts over the past 3 years, which is pretty crazy.
To themselves.
They paid out way more than that to themselves, which is even crazy. That's what really blows my mind, is if they were able to pay this out to traders, imagine how much they're pocketing. Imagine how much they're making as a company. Like, that's mind-blowing. Like, I immediately think at least 4x. At least whatever this
What
is
they do is they use copy traders based
on their
on
best.
yeah, they find out who's got a good track record, and then they copy that person, and you just have to know that that's what's going on if you use their service.
Yeah, well, that and of course the enormous amount of evals that get bought and just blown throughout the weeks, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure
But
they make a lot of money on that too.
but yeah, no, it is insanity, man. Pretty cool. Gold is trying to move higher. I'm still interested in possible shorts around 33.31. Got a seller stepping in over there, 33.31. So there's somebody else. Right now I'm thinking there's somebody else with the same thought as me, right? We have this low volume shelf around 33.31.2. This guy right here we see on the COB, we have this white line on this 23 level, and it's about a third of the way there. So about a third of this 23 lots is one trader, right? Is one trade. So third of 23, that's about 6 or 7 lots. So 6 or 7 lots short on gold this person's looking for right there. So we'll see if their short is correct, if we can get back up there. New York session opens in 12 minutes, guys. We're pulling back off of that previous day high on ES. Did we finish our NASDAQ write-up? I don't think so. Not going to do a write-up. We'll just do a breakdown. So I guess the main area on NQ I'm looking for... Oh, that's funny, guys. Ready for this funny one? 23,420 on NQ and 6,420 on ES. Oh man, guys, get Snoop Dogg trading over here now. That is funny. They barely ever have, not the same numbers, obviously not the same numbers, guys. I mean, one's trading around 23,478, the other one's around 6,430. So very rarely do they get around the same hundreds. So it's sort of funny that lines up around the 420. A little hee hee ha ha. Gotta look for a little fun when we learn to trade too, guys. Gotta enjoy what you do. That way you really grasp it. If you feel like you're forcing yourself to understand something, you're not really enjoying it, our brain's gonna have a hard time wanting to remember it because it wants to forget it, wants it to be over. So enjoy what you're doing. Find a strategy that keeps you not excited. We don't want to be excited traders, but keeps you motivated, keeps you moving, keeps you patient, you know what you're doing, you know what you're looking for, all that. Let's see. Something I'd look for on VIX over here is this resistance point. So right now VIX in a range. It is trying to move lower though, which is bullish. So still bullish overall. We'll see how we open and we want to trade off the open. It does look like we're possibly looking for some selling at open, and again that could be because people are taking profits. Alright, oil just pulled back into this broken supply we had. A big seller stepped in, so we'll be patient there. This was an old resistance, so again, would this be the support? I don't know. I'm not going to act on this trade too aggressively where it just stops me out. I'd much rather be a little patient, even wait for this 55 area if this wants to come and get hit. 15-minute time frame though, definitely leaning a bit more towards the bull side. Again, same situation where it's like if it wants to close bullish and wants to hold, then this could create a fair value gap over my old supply zone, and then I could look for the retest entry. Right now, if I were to take a trade entry right here, I don't know, I could put my stop loss at the low we just created, but I don't know if this is really going to hold as support because I'm not seeing any signs that it is. Maybe I put my stop loss here. Whereas if I stay patient and let markets develop, and we get, let's say, a new pivot low right here, we do start to pull back, create this 15-minute fair value gap, then the next time we come into this zone and start to reject higher, then I can confidently keep a tight stop loss. Right now, I'm not a big fan of this. I do like that this big seller tried to step in and failed. I would consider longs here. I'm just not a fan of how oil's been trading in general, right, for the past like whole year. Yo, good morning, Syria. Do apologize if I mispronounced. Syrian Brennan, good morning, good morning. I think I got it. Like, look at that, it just had another dip on oil. That's why I'm saying we want to be patient here. We don't want to jump the gun on any trades. This 5-minute candle that we're watching has 2 minutes and 45 seconds left to close. It's plenty of time for it to sell off, pop higher. We want to wait. We can look at our volume profile, and that will help us too. I'm sorry, our footprint. And we do see point of control is trying to move lower, so I would be patient on this. I would not take this yet on oil. Gold chopping around, did not give us that short entry yet. ES and NQ trying to break below their previous day low on ES again. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. ES finding some support off the 64.30. 64.30. Alright, let's see. So we got our gold setups we're waiting for. And if, guys, guess what? If New York session opens and we sort of start to blast through this price level, I'll wait for 33.35. It's a 15-minute, 30-minute supply zone on gold. And guess what, too? We want to break this level. 33.38 gets broken, and we close somewhere above it. I'll look for us to hold that price level, right? So even though right now, economically, geopolitically, globally, the news that we're going through right now is having me lean more bullish, especially because of the ES-EU trade deal that came in this weekend, things could change. We know markets could change. And as traders, we do not predict. We do not try to make things happen. We can't make things happen. We just react. Give me 1 sec. Yes, trying to hold that previous day high for now. It is still pre-market, so we're not going to be forcing anything. Believe oil had another dive lower. Look at that, another dip lower on oil. Now we can check that point of control again, see where it's trading at. Good, point of control held higher. Now that is better, right? If we could close somewhere up here on oil, this might be a long position, right? That definitely looks better. We were patient, now things look a little better in our favor. Okay, I might take some oil longs here. The New York session opens in 5 minutes. I'll let you guys know if I take this on oil. It needs to sort of start holding sooner than later. If it doesn't, then I'm not taking it. Like, when I say sooner than later, I mean now. If we start selling off and failing this, there's no long trade here. I'll just be patient. Are you on every morning? Yeah, so I'm on every morning with our community here at Bullish Bears. So you can join at bullishbrs.com. I'm on Monday through Friday. And on YouTube, I'm on Monday and Friday, and sometimes Wednesdays as well. But definitely like and subscribe. Join me every time I'm live on here. Join me in our community. We got like monthly membership is only $50. We have a lifetime is $500. I think it's on sale for just $500 right now, which is usually the yearly fee. And you get access then to my Futures Masterclass, which is 8 sessions long, over 8 hours. Whole bunch of stuff on there too. So guys, no oil trade because we just started failing right away. So still sort of in a waiting right now. Yes, NQ trying to dive lower again. We'll stop watching oil and then it'll hold. Now we'll see. My thing with oil too is we don't really have a lot of volume stepping in, but oil isn't one to have a lot of volume stepping in because it's not something that's very heavily traded like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ. So we could wait on that for a moment. Yeah, see that? Not a fan of oil anymore. Gold ended up trying to dip further again. See gold on bookmap, still green on the CVD. So we could wait on it anyways, but probably waiting for an ES and Nasdaq setup today. Those are have been trading pretty well lately. So we could wait and see if they want to give us another good setup. New York session opens in 2.5 minutes, guys. Take a look at our equities one more time before our New York session opens. See our Nvidia trying to move lower, but it is close to that recent and new all-time high. Google is still trying to squeeze into this range over here, this blue zone. This was a gap from an old earnings report where we gapped lower. We traded into it. I covered on Benzinga the Tesla call, the earnings call. We did some analysis, me and Paul Meeks. And we also covered Google on that too. And I mentioned that if Google gets a strong gap higher because of the earnings call or something, that we're in an area of resistance. We might sell off first. A lot of people see us opening into a gap and they think this is bullish. We're opening higher. This is a gap and go. We're filling this gap. We're going to fill the gap too. It's another trading strategy. And then they just get sold off on. So we got that already. Now at this point, they might be changing their bias because they see we're rejecting this zone every time. But in my eyes, I see we rejected this zone 2, 3, 4 times, and we're getting weaker on each rejection, which means sellers are failing and failing and failing, and buyers keep stepping in more and more and more. So we'll wait to see how that wants to hold. Microsoft was also at a new all-time high yesterday too. So Microsoft, Nvidia, Meta was also leading the pack with them too, but more lately it hasn't been. It hasn't been to all-time highs on Meta since early July, July 9th. Other than that, no, I do apologize. June 30th. June 30th was when Meta made all-time highs. Since then, only Microsoft and Nvidia have been making new all-time highs, but still strong equity market. Google started rallying off of strong earnings reports. We will see. Oil's got 45 seconds left here. New York session opens in that 45 seconds. Guys, let me know in the comments or in the chat what you want to be looking at and what you think we should be trading at that New York session open. I think we should be looking at the ES. We had that gap fill. We had our trading strategy we're looking for. And look at this, guys. We're opening so close to the gap. 0.05% away from the gap fill. So I'm going to be looking to see if we want to hold this area as support on the ES. If we open, guys, New York session opens somewhere down here in 10 seconds, and we just dump like crazy, I'm not finding longs down there. If we hold, then great, I will find longs, but we'll see. Here's our New York session open. See if we get that gap fill real quick. Buyers trying to hold it above, sellers trying to hit it down. Staying patient. I'll let you guys know if I see anything. I do have oil and gold up on another chart on my left side, so I am sort of able to glance over there if needed. I thought CVD spiked like that. That looked funny. CVD did spike green. Did hold bullish right here. A lot of people were probably trying to take that quick gap fill trade. See, oil. Again, glad we didn't take oil. We are watching it and we're being smart about it. Nvidia crossing. New all-time high on Nvidia. Bullish on Nvidia. Weighted index trying to hold higher. Nas is going to feel that Nvidia new all-time high. There's another pump on Nvidia. Boom. Nvidia's flying. That's amazing. We'll most likely maybe look for some Nas longs, guys. What are you thinking? What are we thinking? Let's be patient. Let's see how we hold 85. We don't hold this area, no longs. We did not hold that area. That's why it's so important, guys. Just give yourself a second. Just wait. Just let it just wait. Because we still have the gap fill to the downside. It's so close. So close. Bro, it's a couple points away. Something else to note, guys, is if we hold this gap fill for a little bit, find some selling pressure higher, then we could find an even better short targeting that gap fill, because we still opened very close to it, so our odds of filling are still in our favor, even if we start pushing higher before we hit it. I really liked, like, NASDAQ, sort of, but... And that's mainly because of NVIDIA, but NVIDIA's rejecting that 175 right now, which is a key psych level. Google also rejecting that gap fill area. We'll wait, we'll wait. Don't rush, don't jump the gun. Just be patient. Be patient, young grasshoppers. Gotta wait. YouTube, hit that like button. I want to see you guys run that up to 10 at least. Come on, yes. Find support near 420. Same with you, NASDAQ. Don't hold right now. NVIDIA above that area. This looks pretty solid right now. Let's see. Let's keep looking solid just for it to get hit down. A minute 30 left in the 5 minute. We're letting this 5 close. We're not playing it dumb. I do think longs will want to hold it on NASDAQ. So bias-wise, again, we're still bullish, just like we've been saying all pre-market. But at this point, we're just going to let markets sort of develop, guys. It's only 5 minutes into the market open. We shouldn't be trying to force anything or rush into anything. Even oil over here. Oil swept that low inside this broken supply. Now I need to see point of control move higher on it. Yeah, NAS looks pretty good, guys. Oh, Microsoft's holding up too. Alright, yeah, let's see. My biggest concern is the ES still sort of needs to move lower. And I don't want to be jumping in longs over here just for it to melt. You know what I'm saying? So we could be patient, letting things develop. Even gold, though, is dumping. Yup, gold's dumping right now. Strong economy. Strong ESNQ. Gold dumped. You know why? Because investors, big investors, take out their long-term investments of gold if they're confident in the New York session, if they're confident in the market. Not New York session, but the economy. ESNQ. So they have more to trade with. I was trying to get filled on NQ down over here where you guys see 81 with the 73 stop loss, but I wasn't a big fan of how wiki it was. We were definitely, again, like I said, stronger to the buy side, but New York session just opened. 15-minute closes in 10 minutes. I could wait those 15 minutes. Really not going to break the bank by waiting. By not taking trades, we're just protecting capital, so don't stress. Now, if ES wants to dump towards gap fill, and NAS pulls back towards my entry area and holds, that might be a different story. Alright, NVIDIA did close above that 750 area. Still leaning bullish. Hourly possible reversal. I would just sort of, again, be patient. Because remember, guys, if we're looking back on charts and we're doing our analysis and we're like, okay, we had a big hourly swing here for a trend, an hourly move over there, 15-minute move over there, well, then we shouldn't be feeling the need to jump the gun on a 5-minute. When NQ is stronger than ES, what's that mean? It just sort of means that, like, large cap tech, so NVIDIA, Meta, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, those are very strong large cap tech stocks because NASDAQ is more heavily weighted as the tech index. It has a stronger pull on those. So when those trend stronger, they're going to trend stronger as well. And vice versa, right? If those equities are trending strong, then NASDAQ's going to feel that even more than ES does, because ES is more of the market in a whole. No oil, no flex zone, no gold. Possible gold shorts, actually, but I don't want to be playing around with gold while we see ES and NQ possibly setting up. It's like part of me wants to try to buy these dips on NASDAQ here, but I'm not a big fan of taking trades that aren't in my plan, right? Aren't in my playbook, aren't in my system. Trying to buy these dips randomly, that's not in my system. Not at all. No, thank you. See that gold short I just said before that would have ended up playing out? That's okay. I'm not forcing anything. That wasn't in my playbook for the moment. It was if we hit this price level, but we didn't. So like weighted index is holding up a lot stronger than ES is right now. NASDAQ's feeling that as well. Let's see. ES on bookmap. Anything of interest, anything of value? Not really. I really do like that we're holding that gap fill because again, a lot of traders might have been trying to go short targeting that gap fill. But we'll wait. Not in anything. I'll let you guys know if I get anything. But the gap fill was so small, odds are very high that we fill it. But they aren't zero that we don't. And today would probably be one of those days where we don't fill it, you know what I'm saying? Because of the, well, the strong economy and everything like that. But let's see. So we were using that gap fill as a stop loss. Big if. I'm not taking this trade yet, guys. I will tell you when I take a trade. I will tell you when I'm entering, where my stop loss is, why I'm entering. Gold, see that? It chopped back up. Again, same situation where it moved in my favor before, and I was like, oh, see that short position played out. Well, now it's pushing back higher. Wasn't part of my playbook to try to chase it. Right now, 27.8. It's the next area where there might be some resistance. 27, what did I say, 0.8. So right up here. So I'll add an alert on gold and say, okay, now I have 2 alerts on gold for possible short entries. If we don't get them, then there's no trade. ES and NQ, what's going on with them? Pulling back, fantastic. Come on, ES, you know you want that gap fill. Bro, ES is like, no, in fact, I do not want that gap fill. Bro, I'm telling you, if it holds, I might take this long here, man. But, it's that 90% that the gap fill does occur because we're on like a 0.5 size. Economy is always strong, though. I wouldn't say the economy is always strong, and it's also not so much the economy itself, but it's the geopolitical aspect to it of job reports, earnings coming through. Okay, there's our gap fill on ES. That's great. But all these other different attributes that play a big factor and a big role into the actual economy. You know, someone could say the economy's strong all he wants, but without actual geopolitics or something backing it up, we're not strong. I think I want to try NAS long. No, it's just gonna stop out immediately. Don't do that. Let's see. Let's see if we get that ES trade plan we had, guys. So we had our gap fill. Now we're looking to see. Let's see. VIX pushing higher, weighted index pulling back. Let's be patient now because a lot of equities are on a pullback. Even Nvidia had a crazy pullback off of that 175. There's some buying pressure. I'd be careful on trying longs. I'm going to try, yeah, no, I was going to say, these sellers are just keep trying to bat it back lower. Try one long here on Q, stop at the low we just made, but if it just stop hunts right here, then I'm just going to, like it is a stop hunt, just going to get out and sort of wait to have something develop more in my favor, probably something the ES S&P 500. But I am in one NASDAQ long right now, guys. Entries 480. I'm looking to take profit near VWAP. The reason I took NASDAQ and not ES is because NASDAQ has had more relative strength to it this morning because of equities. And Nvidia's pushing higher now too, which is great. There we go, nice. Just be patient here, see if buyers can pull us higher off this 90 area. Great, great. Beautiful, nice little scalp. Be patient here. Good aggressive buy bubble came in too. I want to see that hold. think it might fail though, right? Because we're pretty choppy right now. VIX is still trying to move higher. There we go, NASDAQ. Beautiful. Nice long entry there, guys. It's very good. Just wait one moment now. Look to get out here for a quick scalp of like 20 points almost. But I want to see NAS hold its weight to the upside with equities. Amazon started pumping, so did Google. Where's our point of control on NQ? That's what I want to know. Lower. That's unfortunate. Probably gonna get out of this then for a scalp. Let's see if we get another push higher on NQ here. Good morning, everybody. We'll hold it. We'll hold it to either stop loss or take profit. Might go run stop loss now. I said that and market was like, all right, don't mind if I do. Now we're holding at 204 left in the 5-minute here. 15-minute also closes in a minute, in 2 minutes. 15-minute closes in 15 minutes. 30-minute closes in 16 minutes, which the 30-minute has me a bit more concerned because of this current price action. Hourly, though, could possibly be giving us a reversal on NQ2. So there we go, guys. Nice, nice. Go buyers. Take it on NAS. Let's go. Come on, equities. Apple selling off, though. Red flag. I'm going to get out right there for a scalp, guys. Get out right there for a scalp because I'm not trusting that Apple... excuse me. Apple selling off right now. Apple just made a new low a day. I don't trust that. Meta might reject this new high a day too. Apple selling off. Now Amazon's also near VWAP. And Nvidia was also trying to push lower. I don't trust this to continue right now without equities holding their weight too. And especially without ES being at that support zone yet. And this could hold. Look at that. It is holding. That's alright. It is what it is. Order flow is probably definitely leaning more bull side as well, but I wanted to lock in some gains because I took the poor entry before. You guys heard me say I'm going to try NAS along, and then I said, oh no, sort of ran right to stop. I was able to take that back for another quick little 1.5 to 1, made it back. But because I was reading those internals of this might be chop, I was able to say, okay, let me get out of this. VIX is skyrocketing right now too, which is also a bit of a red flag. Usually we like VIX to be inverse, but NAS does actually look good for continuation. I'm being patient here, guys. I want to see ES push lower. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Did gold hit your entry? Oh no, did it? Oh no, it was close. Oh, it was so close. There we go, man. NASDAQ holding that up, man. Beautiful. Equity's much stronger, so ES is gonna have a strong. NASDAQ's gonna have a stronger reaction. 15-minute just closed there too. That'll give us our orb, high and low. Oh, don't give us a breakout first. It's gonna give us a breakout first. Damn, man. Nas juked me out. It's alright. I'm long on Q476. Nice, dude. It had like the same target. Good stuff, man. Same entry, I should say. Same entry. There's our VWAP. That's where I was looking at to target. I'll look for a re-entry on Nas at some point. Probably near this 505. This 505 area could hold. To really look for a strong bull run today, guys. Because again, we had a tariff deal went through. We saw the last time this happened, markets went crazy to the upside. A 10% move in a single day. Right now, we're below our open price. This is the prime place to buy right now. Even my cat's yelling at me to buy right now. I'm gonna have to buy. It's going, buy. Buy. It's gonna go long. Saying go long. I want to see ES above its orb high. If ES could break, I'd really like to see ES break its orb low first. Alright, NAS is dipping near where I would consider entering. 502, 505. There we go. There's a 502 dip. There we go. I'm in NAS again. Stop near the low we just dipped into, because just looking for the momentum on this. Good entry, good reaction right off it. Quick 10 points. Just be patient. Could take it for a scalp, could really just look to scalp this whole thing, but I want to try my best to hold. But we also don't want to get stop hunted too many times. Yeah, look at that. It's trying its best to dip. My entry was over here in this low volume area, seeing that this could possibly be the new bottom of our newer range we just created. But seeing that sellers are trying to bat it down, I'm just going to wait, see how we want to hold it. Weighted index, I'd like to see move higher. I want to see NVIDIA move above that 175 level. If it doesn't, we might fail on equities. NVIDIA's failing that level right now. Yeah, this might go for a stop hunt, and if that's the case, we stay patient till ES gives us our proper orb entry of the double break we're looking for, where we break lower of the orb first, find support in this broken supply zone near 6420, and then take that long. But right now, the reason I'm in a long is because if buyers do want to just hold us higher, we find good momentum, then I don't want to be trying to find a new position all the way up here. But right now, seeing these sellers might stop me out of this long right there. Let's see. Yep, so I'm stopped out of NAS longs again. Now we just be patient. Wait for the ES to give us that break low of the orb. Use ES on Bookmap to find some support. Come on, ES. Come on, S&P. VIX is moving higher, which again has been a pretty big red flag. Could possibly come back towards the 85 to 75 area on NASDAQ. NAS finding support here. Ooh, NVIDIA's pushing up. Like strong. Taking NAS long off of just NVIDIA trying to pump higher right there. So it's like a trail stop long position. NVIDIA skyrocketing right now. I need to see NASDAQ follow that. Weighted index, though, is struggling. Come on now. Fly. Fly, Nas, fly. Oof, man, it's struggling up here, that's for sure. That is for sure. Yup. No more, no more. It might chop around for, I'll be real, guys. These longs look like they're holding, but these sellers keep trying to bat it down. With ES holding this weakness too, that's definitely leaning more towards a let's wait. It's only been 20 minutes into the New York session open, so we could sort of wait till we want to find some support. NVIDIA does look pretty good again, like I said, for some support, but clearly NVIDIA is not strong enough to hold the whole NASDAQ up. There's meta pumping to new high today too, but again, same situation where it's like buyers keep trying, sellers keep smacking it lower. Same with ES near this resistance point, or support point, I should say. It's failing to break it. Let's see, Microsoft trying to move lower, NVIDIA with a little bit of a pullback. There we go, our equity's going to try to finally hold. VIX has been moving higher all day, by the way, guys. So, bit of a red flag on that. There's ES trying to break lower off of this resistance. My goodness, gold. Oh no, what'd gold do? Selling off? Yeah, gold's selling off, man. That's crazy. Strong economy, weak gold. But even our quote-unquote strong economy so far in the New York session has been really weak. NAS is pushing higher when equities are pulling back. Look at that, guys. That's crazy. I want this ES or below taken out. I want to see equity start pushing lower too off of this high. Sort of trap some longs on NQ. Not much support below us. ES also looking ready to dip. How's the 15-minute looking? Okay. Here's our orb on NQ, the purple level. Boom, look at that, guys. Buyers mean business on equities right now. And clearly, look at the VIX, guys. Today's a great example of how the VIX could be pushing higher, which shows weakness on the ES, but the NASDAQ has such relative strength because equities, large cap, big stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Meta are doing well because of the tariff, the trade deal. Fantastic. Fantastic, man. I could have executed a little better on some of these scalps higher, that's for sure. My strategy, my system, my risks to reward wise that I like to try to implicate that a lot of times these range yet trend markets will pull back, not really necessarily give us the best of entry points. We see there are no fair value gaps. We see highs keep getting sold off, lows keep getting bought back up. So a little bit, even though it looks stronger on NAS, a little bit of a tough point. NAS into some resistance up here. This 520 area. Weighted index holding. Equities are looking pretty good right now. Google trying to hold back up too. We have a minute 17 left on this 5 minute to close.
NASDAQ upside target 525. That's the GEX level 5. This call resistance here at 500.
I think I want ES long.
Expect a push down on it.
Yeah.
You do have a blind spot up here at, what is that, 539-ish.
Damn.
We see it reacted to already.
Damn,
And,
gold.
act as a magnet. That's going to be blind spots are where the QQQ and the NDX have heavy option levels, and it gets translated over to the equivalent on the NASDAQ chart, on the NQ chart.
Guys, gold is just like dropping like everybody's selling it right now. It's insane. Oh my goodness, gold. I'm not gonna lie, I just took a little scalp on gold there and made back those losses and then some. That was very, very good. Again, not a trade that I tell you guys to take. So I'm not, if I'm taking a trade that I'm gonna see as a scalp, I'm not gonna be like, guys, I'm getting in gold shorts right here. I'm gonna scalp it for a few points, a few ticks. Because then by the time I say something, let's say markets moved, I'm already out of the trade. I want to give you guys trades that I have strong conviction in. So we'll be patient, we'll wait, we'll see. Gold might possibly be a pretty good short trade, seeing that ES and NQ have been chopping around. Waiting on ES, like gold looks good to enter short right here off of this resistance point. But we don't want to get in short here and have it wick higher on us 2 points and crush us. Hey ES, do you want to give us a freaking long entry? Bro, ES holding this gap fill like it's on for dear life. Yo, let's see, YouTube guys, hit that like button. Show some love. Always. Come on, ES, give us that or break lower so we can look to target, break out, double break. So close. Look at all the support under us. Down to 420. I just need us to dive through all of this, fill all of these orders, and then hold. Ooh, VIX is at a key level. I might take this long down. I don't know. ES, hold this orb. If ES holds this orb, I'll take it long down here and use the orb as my stop loss. You know what I'm saying? But if we don't hold this, then that's not what I'll be doing. But this could be pretty solid. Let's see. That's only if we hold it. If we dive through it, then we'll wait for our original trade setup that we had. 3 minutes left. I'm taking some ES contracts along on ES here with the stop loss at the orb for like a breakdown. So if we do break lower, I'll stop out for a small loss. If we hold it, then I have a very tight entry on my long position right here. A 1.5 stop loss. It could fail. It could go right to stop, and that's okay. But I like the support under us. I like that we haven't broken that orb below first. We had breakouts the past 2 trading days, and that would mean we take this high out first. So if we could hold this down here, where people are looking for a break lower, then this, again, could be a really nice entry, where we don't break this low, and we trade back higher. But if we do break that low, then I'm just going to take a small loss on it. But right now, being able to take this really tight entry long position, I'll take it. I'll know what my risk is, I'll know what my reward is, and we'll play it easy. We got some good support under us here on Bookmap. This looks okay. VIX is at a key level 2 to push it lower, which is bullish finally. Guys, look at this, guys. Beautiful. Beautiful. Great, great, great so far. Let's see. I like that VIX trying to move lower now, too. Here we go, ES. Let's find that buying pressure. Let's go crazy. 30-minute. Closes in a minute 16. There we go, 5-minute holding up. Beautiful. Amazing, guys. Come on now. My only concern is that ES has been weaker than the NASDAQ lately, today at least. But we want to see that sort of pull back. We want to see that turn around. We want to see VIX hold. See our point of control on this candle moving higher. Ooh, it's lower. A little bit of a red flag. I'll get out of one contract up here if it'll let me. Sell one near like 28.25. Just one contract to ease the soul. Nah. Nah. We'll hold it. Hold it now. Hit it. Because I like those buyers trying to step in there. I really do. I'm not a fan of ES's weakness. ES definitely has a bit more weakness. 13 seconds left in this 15. If it could get back above here, that would be huge. If it doesn't, a little bit of a concern. 29. Oh man, 1 second left. What a pump. What a pump. We'll hold it for now. I guess I'll try first TP at our orbit breakout high. So 32. 32. Ooh, I'm not a fan of that, man. I'm telling you. A little concerned on that. I'm thinking if we do get that break lower, guys, we'll probably get a wild, like one of those crazy moves that just like skyrockets us to the downside. But my entry point is 425.75, exits 24.25. First TP is at 32.25. That would be a 4-to-1, over 4-to-1 risk to reward. Next TP is almost a 10-to-1. Here we go. Nice, good buyers. Come on, hold us up, NASDAQ. Hold us up, VIX. VIX is moving lower too. Beautiful. Come on, get above that 29 level on ES. That would be huge. We're rejecting near it. I am going to get out of one contract near 28.75 because I'm in 3 right now. So I'll get out of 1, and then I'll just hold the last 2 for as long as it wants me to hold it. I don't like that VIX just tried to spike higher, but so did ES and NQ. NASDAQ just spiked higher as well. I'm again looking to get out of one contract around 28.75. Okay, got out of one contract. Great. I'll hold these last 2 till either stop loss, which is at the orb, or final take profit, which will be now at near above VWAP over here near 64.40. Good job today, guys. A little round of applause, everybody. Killing it. Hope you guys are doing well today. It was a little bit of a bump on the start, but we ended up following through. Took some nice trade plans, stayed patient. Claps, claps, claps. Want to see that VIX, man. I need that VIX to push lower here. That'll really help our ES long positions. And where's the point of control on that last candle? Could it please be higher? It's not. That's such an issue. But we're still range bound. I'll try to hold this. Nice. There we go. ES. Nice break right there. I'm in 2 contracts left. Yo, good morning, Aaron. What's up, man? Good morning, good morning. We're into some ES longs off of these lows of 25.75. Looking at target near 40. 40, look at that, guys. I didn't even look at 40 before on bookmap. 40 is a bookmap level up there. So let's try to get above our orb price. That'll also help us on a bullish bias. And we might even be able to possibly target new all-time highs. But let's not be too greedy. We had a very nice entry looking for a 10-1 on this TP up here. And we already locked in some profits on 1 contract. Looking for VIX to help us push lower. ES keeps trying to move higher here. I don't like that the NASDAQ is pulling back, but it makes sense that one starts chopping while the other starts dropping, right? Sort of, we've been seeing NASDAQ moving higher. Now we have ES trying to move higher and NASDAQ pulling back. So we'll be patient on that. We'll wait to see. NVIDIA did pull back towards 175 key level. So this is where I'd like to see NVIDIA hold as support. Google's selling off right now off of this gap area too, which is unfortunate. Amazon trying to hold up. Microsoft, Meta, pretty choppy. Look at that, guys. Come on, ES. Hold that up. Hold that up. There we go. 29.25. Let's hold it now. Let's get to 29. Boom. Beautiful. Come on now. Let's see if we could really start to find some momentum behind us. Hourly just closed. Hourly was pretty bearish on ES, though. Just a little FYI. 2 hour, 4 hour also. Closes in 2 hours. Wait, 4 oh no, that's 3 hour. 4 hour also closed somewhat bearish too. So it's like, we'll wait. We'll see how we want to trade. We'll play it smart. There we go. Another push up. Nice. Another move. Another one. 25 seconds left. Want to see point of control moving higher on ES here. 20 seconds. Come on, give us one more spike up here. Head towards 32.50. 32.50. That's right above our orb breakout level. Now,
ES pivot point R2's at 6430.5. You can see we've already tagged it multiple times at 935, 937, and 946. There we are, right at it.
boom.
So,
Boom.
is this a break?
Boom, boom, boom. Come on, ES, give us another fly. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, yeah. It's the ES. I'll get out of one up here. One more up here. Alright, I'm out of one more. I'm holding just 1 contract left. This was a beautiful trade. Oh my goodness. Amazing. Moving stop loss to break even. Fantastic. There's our orb breakout. Let's go, guys. Wow, we used the bottom of the orb as a stop loss on this trade, and that was a fantastic move. Fantastic. Reading NASDAQ had more direction to the upside. Knowing economically we did have more support. I'm holding 1 contract left. I got out of my first one over here for 5 points. My second one at our orb breakout level. And now I'm looking to see if we can ride this for a breakout higher. Stop loss is at break even. Really good stuff. Really great stuff.
Relevant GAX level 6434 above us, and then 6436.
Beautiful. Take me away. So look, we entered right over here. 6425.75. Stop loss was the orb low. Said, okay, let's see if we can get that orb high taken out. We got it. Got out of the contract over here. Got another contract over here. Sort of looking to let this ride now. Equity starting to pull back. I'd like to see this 5 close outside the orb. If it closes within the orb, that could be a bit of a red flag that we want to break back lower again. Let's see. Do we just call it a trade here, guys? I'm up pretty good on the day. We don't want to be greedy. But we also want to let our winners win. CVD is still higher. VIX is still moving off of that level to the downside. We were so patient for this entry. Let's be patient for our hold. We already got out of a couple contracts. We could see how this wants to play out. Good morning, everybody. Hit that like button, guys, if you're learning something here on YouTube, or if you're earning, making some money with us on these longs on the S&P 500 today. Really great stuff, guys. Good direction. Good trade in the trend. Definitely took some L's on NQ this morning, but that's alright, man. This ES trade made up for it tenfold. Like, killer. I am going to move my stop loss to 27.75 because I'd much rather see this continue higher and sort of trend, like find some momentum and I'll let it win. But if it just starts to pull back, I don't want to let this trade go all the way back to break even on this last contract. So let's see, here we go, some momentum up at 50. We have a minute 54 left here. NASDAQ pushing higher too. Come on, ES, let's clear this 3250 zone. Clear that 3250. Let's find a strong pop right here. Building a little support below us. That's great. Want to see if we can hold that. Moving my stop loss to 29. So this yellow level is now my stop loss on my long entry. So it'll stop me into profit if we do end up pulling back. But right now we have good support under us on ES. Want to see if we can target towards 6440.
All right, deviation line on ES at 64.35, VWAP right above it at 64.36.
Nice. Watch this little bit of struggle we just ran into here at this orb high right here. 102. 102. We do have volume to the upside too, though, so I'm going to just be patient, let it play out. Still in just one contract.
So that gives us targets at 34, 35, and 36.
Nice. Point of control just moved higher again up there. Good volume up here. Just really need to see us close above 3250. If we fail that, there might be a better chance that we range back lower towards the orb low. You ain't got no money, take your broke ass home. Alright, let's find some support here. 25 seconds left on the S&P 500 on the 5-minute time frame. Looking for this to close above our orb. NAS has already closed above our orb price to the upside. It had a breakout already. ES broke the orb to the upside with a wick so far. We have 8 seconds left, and it's failing to find support higher. Here we go. 2 seconds and 1. That's close, man. Let's see. Well, what I would always teach you guys is to always play it safe, play it smart, right? If you're in good profits, you'd want to take profit. I already scaled out of some contracts, so what I'll do to play it safe is I will move my stop loss to 29.75. It's like right in the support area. So if we start to melt here and sellers step in, then I'm going to get out. But right now, CVD has still been trying to move higher. So if it does want to just continue, I don't want to get out up here if it continues. If it fails, then fine, I'll stop out, take some nice profits still.
Kevin, are you still using TradingView for your charting, for your trading?
Like execution?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have a stop loss, but then you manually take your contracts as you go. So do you have to manually adjust your stop loss, or does it understand when you sell a contract?
Yeah. You gotta manually adjust it a little bit. You gotta, so like, because I started with 3 contracts. When I go to get out, alright, it just stopped me out of my last contract, by the way, guys. Great trade still overall. Fantastic trade. What are we up? 12 on the day. Fantastic. What was I gonna say? Oh, so right, so I started with 3 contracts. Then what I do is I'll come over to the DOM and I'll change the number down here to 1, and then I'll do the plus button and I'll do sell 1, right? And that'll get me out of 1 contract. Then my stop loss and my take profit are still set to 3, so I just click those, it'll open up the order DOM, and then I'll adjust that to 2. But yeah, you do have to adjust the stop loss and TP when entering and exiting with TradingView.
Yeah, That's one of the things. TradingView is a great charting platform, but it kind of stinks as a execution. That's one of the nice things I really like about Trade-O-Vate, but it just charts so pathetically.
Yeah, well, you know what is I sort of I'm fine with it on TradingView because again, it's the minor things like having to go into the DOM and change how many contracts you have or but it's also I find it very easy to just come to the chart, hit plus and be like, "Okay, this is where I'm buying. Okay, this is where I'm selling." Or also to use the long and short position tool, you right click, create limit order, and then it does the math for you on how many contracts you should be risking, what your risks or rewards should be. You could also adjust right in here. This was the trade we just took before, guys. 3 contracts, ES, longs off the orb low, did not break the orb low, targeting the orb high, and we got that. Killer. Very killer. That was awesome. Good morning, everybody. You two guys, smash that like button if you're long in the ES this morning. Look at the way the index is pulling back, but ES is finding support. It is 10:13, guys. 10:13. That looks like Sig also takes some trades on TradingView as well. Good morning, guys. YouTube, what's up, everybody? Good morning, good morning. Discord, what's going on? I hope you guys have all had a fantastic trading day so far. I do think this could have possibly been a stop hunt. Now that I'm looking at the chart more clearly now, right? Because I'm out of a trade. It's always hindsight's 2020. But this could have been pulling back into an area of an imbalance to hold as support. So I might have stopped out on the pullback. Again, that's okay. We were in some phenomenal trades. Have you looked into Quant Tower? I haven't. I haven't. How is that? That's one that's on my bucket list, my to-do list. Dude, all these platforms, man. Bookmap, TradingView. I
Oh,
got
you
trends.
said bucket.
What did you say? I know bucket lists. I know. Isn't
You
that
said
what?
something else.
What it said? Oh, my bucket list. Nah. um. But yeah, no, right? All these charting and trading platforms, man. Just my top. I know people always ask me, you use so many. Well, which ones would you recommend? Well, the few that I would 1,000,000,000% recommend that you have that I would also definitely most if I only had to pick two, it would be TradingView and Bookmap. TradingView and Bookmap. Bookmap for the order flow and the price action. TradingView for the charting and the technicals. Those are the main two. Extras.
And do you
Some
get your data feed from?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, well, of course comes the broker, so you could do Ninja Trader, you could do Trade-O-Vate. I'm saying like add-ons, like a broker you need. A platform like Bookmap, a platform like TradingView, they're not a need, but they're very helpful. They're additional add-ons. You need a Trade-O-Vate account in order to trade on Trade-O-Vate with futures, or if you're doing Apex or
Yeah.
something.
I'm curious who here uses Ninja Trader and ties it into their Trade-O-Vate account, because Ninja Trader, I'm told, is much better at charting, um, but you can get your better option or contract prices through Trade-O-Vate. Like I have a lifetime license with Trade-O-Vate, and it's honored if I use the Ninja Trader software. But and I've downloaded Ninja Trader, but I haven't spent any time to see how well it charts or anything like that. Does anybody here use Ninja Trader?
You guys let us know. Any Ninja Traders over here? Dude, ES, man, those longs were beautiful. Could have definitely been holding. That's alright, it happens. Thank you, Vito. Appreciate that, man. Yes, sir. We caught those bottoms. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'd wait for gold for some possible shorts up here. Low volume shelf up near, it's like 11 to 12. Now we got a pretty strong seller stepping in at 12. 15-minute time frame. 30-minute.
Yeah, because my thing about what my curiosity about Ninja Trader is, if you could use that with Trade-O-Vate, then you wouldn't have to pay for Trading View.
Oh, like use use Ninja Trader as the charting platform too.
Yeah, because then you'd all be in house with the Trade-O-Vate Ninja Trader thing.
Yeah.
There should be a linear regression there. VWAP is right overhead. And it looks like we're going into a fair value gap on the 15. So look for, we're going to probably dig a little bit into that fair value gap and then probably turn around. This is also the SPY GEX line we just touched. So look for some volatility here.
They're owned
Nice.
by the same company, so if you use Traded you can also use Ninja.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess the question is Ninja Trader as good of a charting platform as Trading View?
No.
Yeah, I don't like it. I think
It's
for me as a
outdated.
new yeah, as a new trader, it's too much for me.
It's
Like
clunky.
I like yeah, I do like Traded just because it's training wheels for the new people. I think, but anyway.
Yeah. No, agreed. I'm thinking gold shorts here. Stop at the high we just made. Okay,
Yeah, I have
let's
a
go.
video over in webinars about how much I hate trading Trader Vate's charting. Um,
That's
but
funny.
yeah,
I
I talk
remember
about
that.
workarounds. Yeah, I mean, I talk about workarounds for the problems in Trader Vate. It's over in webinars. I really do like using Trader Vate for for moving it around and how nice and easy it is. It's just the charting is awful.
I'm out of one gold contract, holding just one. Really looking for a scalp here. Question. I was on Bullishbrs Discord, then left Discord for a bit and got back recently. How do I join Bullishbrs again? If you are, let's see, do you have your login for the website? If you have the login for the website, when you're on bullishbrs.com, there should be a join rooms tab. And when you click that, it'll bring you to a link that brings you to our Discord.
Does YouTube hear us from Discord?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'll simply say to anybody on the YouTube side, I am a lifetime member. I am not a moderator, though I do produce some educational content for the group, just because I enjoy doing it. But I've been in a lot of trading groups over the year, and Bullish Bears is the sweet spot. We're not so big that everything has to be moderated, monitored. In this group you can actually talk. If you're in a
Ask
Discord with
questions.
ask questions, moderators will talk with you all kinds of different ways. Whatever. You're in a sweet spot with Bullish Bears, no question. And I don't get paid for that comment whatsoever.
No,
I
I
have
definitely didn't
completely
just PayPal him $5 with a note to say that. There's no way.
$5. What can you buy with $5 here other than kisses? I mean, really? Well, you can't even buy that. But
That's
anyway,
that's funny. I was gonna say buy a chocolate. Hershey Kisses. Probably gonna get out of gold. No reason to be in it. I'm in good profit for the day. I already got out of one contract for some nice profits. I do have it below a super bearish price level. Nope, we'll get out. No, thank you. Still up pretty solid on the day. Good stuff today, ladies and gents. It is 10:20. We could call it done for the day there, but we'll stay on the stream for a little while for anybody that's got any questions or wants to review anything. Let's see.
Kevin, as far as Edgeville goes,
Yeah.
do you follow the orb and or the opening candle continuation
So
report?
I don't follow the opening candle continuation. I have been seeing a ton of people with success stories using the initial balance continuation and initial balance off of price levels, like the measured out moves and stuff off of them. But no, I personally don't use them. I'm trying to think. I like to use the reports I like to use on Edgeful myself would have to be the orb, right? The opening range breakout that you mentioned. The green and red days by weekday, that's also a pretty good one. That tells me, like, what are the odds that Friday is a green day? And when Friday is a green day, what is the average green day on that Friday, right? So, right now, today's Monday. We can look at gold here, GC. We see on Mondays, we have a 64% chance of closing green. This is New York session. We want to come to the daily session because we're looking at the futures right now. So Monday, 64% chance of closing green. But in the streaks, we see that the past 3 trading days have closed red. We could then look at the, where is it? I like to use, along with the green and red days by weekday, performance by weekdays, also a pretty good one. That tells me like how big of a move to expect. So Monday, when it's bullish on gold, averages about 1.15% move to the upside. When it's bearish, it's only a 0.84% move to the downside. So it's not the strongest red day, but it could happen. Right now, gold. Those reports. There's also previous day's range, which is one of my like favorites. That tells me like what are the odds that we break a previous day's high and we close green. You can look at the specifics again, same situation. Right now we're looking at this is gold on the daily time frame. This is gold right over here. What are the odds that we break previous day low and we close red? 73% chance. Well, now I can look at by weekday, and it says now only 50% chance. Gold on Mondays only has a 50% chance of breaking that previous day low and closing green. That is wild to me, right? And because of that, that makes me think, well, right now our open price is up here. That means, because we're trading all the way down here, if we were to close green today, we would have to close somewhere above our open price, which could help lead me towards a bullish sentiment, right? And that's how we could use some of these different indicators and tools on Edgeful to find price targets and levels. That's how I found my ES stop loss today. ES stop loss wasn't with the gap. What am I on right now? Previous day's range. It was with the orb. We're looking at the orb on the New York session. So we're looking at the 15-minute high, 15-minute low, and we saw that the orb for the past few trading days, why is it now saying breakdown? Oh, because it's on standard. Oh, it is on New York. What? They said breakout earlier. 25th. Yeah, what's 25th? Here's Friday. Here's our 15-minute. So Friday, look at our orb. Friday we had orb high, or orb low. We had a breakout. So I don't know why it says breakdown right now for 725. Oh, because we're on gold still. That's why. It would help if we were on the right ticker. Here we go. This is what we were looking at earlier. So ES, we see that 3 of the past 5 days have been double breaks. So with the past 2 trading sessions, we've had breakouts. A breakout means we break out of the orb to one direction, the upside, and we do not break that lower direction, right? So today on ES, we were trading near the low of our orb over here for 1 candle, 2 candles. By the 3rd candle that we kept failing to break that orb low, and on Bookmap, we had a really strong support level. Show you guys what I was looking at on Bookmap. 25, right over here, all the support down here. So by this time, I was saying, okay, well, we might, let's try a long down here, because I don't think we break that orb to the downside, because the past 2 trading days, we held and we have broken the orb to the upside. So I was able to take a really tight long position at our gap fill, might I mind you guys. So we used the gap fill price and the orb in the same trade setup, was able to take long, stop loss at the orb low, and target the orb high. Great trade. I really wanted to target 64.40, but still, 4-to-1 over a 4-to-1 risk to reward trade is a great trade. And again, we took a couple losses on NQ leading into this, so we made profit above our losses on top of that, and are very green on the day because we kept a good risk to reward, we had good risk management, and we were patient and took this really solid setup. Let's see.
Hey, can you put a little analysis on that 5-minute candle that has like a almost 30-point downside wick?
On Nas over? Oh my goodness. This
Yeah.
one? Yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, so this one is a rip your face off for both people, right? So if we look at ES, or I guess NASDAQ at this point, we see that the 23,487 was sort of where we were finding these lows pre-market, again over here when we held above it, now again one more time over here, and we could bring it a little lower, which would then disqualify these lows. But if we were looking at the 5-minute, like a 5-minute opening, 5-minute order block, where we base, have a rally, pull back into it and hold. Once we see this wick over here, this guy, we see that we're holding this area. If we start selling into it, we don't want to try to take shorts at these lows, because then we might be shorting the lows, right? We want to buy the lows, sell the highs. So we look for ranges like this. When we find our ranges, we can mark them out. Say, okay, well look, NASDAQ has been making higher highs. NASDAQ just made a higher high. It wasn't really, I wouldn't call this a liquidity sweep because we broke it and then we chopped around it for a while. A liquidity sweep will give us a break and then a reversal very quickly. So it wasn't a liquidity sweep. This was just range-bound price action. So I'd look to buy the lows, possibly sell the highs, but I would also take this as, a bit of a market structure shift in that we're holding these lows over here. We broke these highs and we broke VWAP as well. I'd want to try to buy the dip at that point. Right now,
10:30 report.
what's that?
There was also a 10:30 report that hit. That's a 10:30 candle.
10:30 hasn't hit yet.
I mean, not 10:30. Wait, you're right. My mistake. My mistake. I'm wrong.
You're good, no problem. Yeah, I think we have Dallas Fed manufacturing, couple minutes. Yeah, that was just NASDAQ being the NASDAQ.
Probably wrong on that.
That's alright. Nah, that was just NQ being the NQ, giving us one of those crazy stop out candles, a wild pullback. Leading into that, weighted index was pretty weak. Our equities were sort of pulling back. If we take a look at Nvidia, which is like my go-to equity to keep an eye on, Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, and Meta. Nvidia was keep failing this 175 level. So earlier, we held that 175 over here. We broke it and we closed way above it at a new all-time high. So on this red candle, we came back to VWAP and I was looking for support. I was looking for longs. You guys remember us taking those longs on NASDAQ. Those ended up sort of stopping me out because we see that Nvidia ended up going more range-bound. Microsoft sold off from there. Apple also sort of gave us a bear flag. So did Amazon and Meta. Google also has been selling off today. So equities are sort of in a range in themselves. So I'm not going to be expecting continuation on the NASDAQ.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely, yeah. No, so I'd always just have like those highs and lows marked out. That really helps. And same thing as like finding previous day's levels. So like yesterday on NQ, this also was like our previous day's high area right over here, around 47 to 61. And if we look at today's price action, look at how perfect yesterday's resistance held as today's support during the New York session. So that's another huge thing I would do, right? Previous day high, previous day low, and previous day's ranges and zones. That's actually previous day high up there. I'm surprised I didn't have it marked out because I didn't do NASDAQ previous day high and low. That's why, guys. See, we gotta be prepared with that stuff. Very important price levels.
Yeah, I was about to say, I noticed that it bounced off the high.
Yeah, look at that. Very, very nicely bounced off the high. So yeah, that's just one way to sort of mark it up. We always want to be range. Our goal as traders is to try our best to find the range before we take a trade. If we could find the range before we take a trade, we will be able to spot where buying the lows and selling the highs are, and that will help us hugely. If we can't spot a clear range, but we do spot a clear trend, which means sort of like this here on NASDAQ where we're making higher highs, higher lows, then we want to find our old high of that recent range, and that becomes our support, like we had this morning. Today was a great example of that. Again, me personally, I missed that because I was waiting on those ES setups to hit. It's important, guys, that when we come up with a trade setup in the mornings, whether we create 2 for 1 on ES, 1 on NASDAQ, a few on ES, a couple on ES, a couple on gold, create your setups and just be patient for them. Wait for them to pan out. Don't try to jump the gun on something else. For NASDAQ today, for me, I kept trying to take those longs, right? Because we saw NASDAQ had more relative strength. But these upper wicks, they kept pulling back, stopping me out near break even, stopping me out for a small loss. So I said, okay, let me stop trying to take these longs on NASDAQ. Clearly it's not working out, and I'm glad I did because look at this big pullback. But I was patient, and we took ES then. And ES is the one that gave us this nice run up while NASDAQ was chopping. So while ES was chopping this morning, NASDAQ was running up. Once ES found some support, NASDAQ started to chop. So both of them were sort of giving us inverse moves. So we were just sort of being patient. Not inverse entirely in sense of direction, but in the sense of grasping some type of momentum. Let's see, 30-minute looks solid on a reversal too here. Look, oh, yo, this 30-minute on ES, guys, looks amazing. Look at this basing candle, rally, and then I'd look for continuation on this 30-minute candle, which just opened. So this might actually be an okay buying opportunity on the S&P 500 here. So I took this great trade, 4-1. Not going to overtrade it, but I'm thinking that this could also be our next possible trade to the upside. That's pretty cool, guys. I like that setup we did this morning. We did things a little bit differently, right? We marked out the New York Open 19%, and the New York Open like 0.39% on the gap fill. And then we also marked out our orb today. Went over the orb over the past few days. Now, something I really want to mention, guys, is just because it worked today doesn't mean it's going to work tomorrow. And just because it worked today doesn't mean it's not going to work tomorrow. What do I mean by this? I mean that markets do tend to find their trends and find some patterns intraday from day to day, as we see the 24th was a breakout, the 25th was a breakout, and now today being the 28th is also a breakout. With all of those leaning towards that direction, we want to sort of follow that trend. But guess what? Sometimes on the orb, we might get it where it's a double break, a breakdown, a double break, a breakout, a double break, a double break, and we might get a lot of inconsistency. And this setup, this system, this strategy, the orb, might not be as consistent for breakout trades, right? That's why we need to sort of gauge the market, gauge overall sentiment first, and then find the strategy and system that we can implement that is best for these kind of markets. For trending markets, the orb is a great system. Therefore, today when we had that economic sentiment of, hey, we're probably bullish because we had the ES and EU trade deal, well, once we started to fail to break below that orb, I took those longs with a very tight stop loss, a 1.5 stop loss on the S&P 500, targeting 6.5 points over a 4-to-1 risk to reward, and was able to confidently take that trade. Because look, also, it's not like I was looking for, and yes, at some point I was looking for 40, but it's not like I was looking for a major, huge reversal, all-time highs, which again also would have only been 32 points, but I was looking to just trade our recent range, our current range of price action. When we're looking to trade those ranges, really can't go wrong in the sense that those ranges tend to chop a lot of traders around, right? A lot of people who were trying shorts over here ended up getting stopped out, ended up trying again, getting stopped out. Then they finally tried to go bullish because of the orb breakout, and then what happened again? They got stopped out. So we want to be patient. We don't want to be chasing, and we want to find our ranges and find our zones and levels, guys. Oh, gold. What are we doing? Guys, don't forget Apex Trader Fund and get that 90% discount. Use discount code Bullishbrs. Those 50Ks are a good place to start. Damn, gold hit. Oh man, if I was watching gold, this big bid up here looked pretty solid, but they pulled it now, so we'll be patient. Probably not going to take any more trades today at all because we already hit our quota in terms of our daily goal. ES pulling back. And Q, I'm sure, is pushing lower as well. Nope, and Q, look at that, it's chopping around. Equities weighted index is trying to hold above its previous session's high. It's a bullish sentiment. Guys, if you're new here on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and go follow me on social media. Is Trading with Kev on Instagram. I like to post daily market recaps, market updates, what's going on in the economy. Trump and the Department of Defense just went over a major steel deal where now they own a big portion of Nippon Steel Industries, which they're having a merger soon, so they're going to have veto power in that. This is the first time the Department of Defense has taken a big initiative in some type of resources like steel or gold or something like that, and it sort of might be a strategy in terms of creating their deal with China this week, right? They're supposed to talk to China this week, and that might also give us some type of economic or geopolitical change in market sentiment and direction. Let's see. Gold rejecting. But again, that's something that you wouldn't know unless you were taking the time, you were reading about it, or you were just following me, and I got you guys. And we'll see what I covered today. We had 10:30 news already came out that did not give us that big of an impact. Nas dipping into level of support off this 95 area. We could see if we could dip through 95 and hold 90. But right now, again, me personally, done for the day. Market was nice. Had a pretty solid day. We were patient. The market wasn't nice. We were nice. Market doesn't give us trades. We take trades ourselves. Alrighty, look, I'm glad we didn't take oil. Remember, we were looking for oil to hold around this, oh, look at this price level right here. Double bottomed right there. But I don't like the price action oil's been giving us for a long time now. What I mean by a long time isn't like forever, but since we had this economic, whole tariff worry. Nice, AR says he doesn't trade Mondays. That's good, man. That's a good idea. Yeah, Mondays sort of set the tone for the rest of the week, right? Mondays are really choppy. We could sort of look for that to linger into Tuesday. Monday gives us some a reversal, right? 10 o'clock, 10:30 reversal after selling off, and it reverses to the upside. That could lead into some strong price action Tuesday. Might not be a trade for NQ anymore. Yeah, I'm not a fan of NASDAQ. The only way I would trade NASDAQ, guys, at this point is if we were able to get above this 23,530 area. And then I would possibly look for us to retest the area and go for longs. So we'll look something like this. We could break above it, break somewhere above near like 540, then retest, go for longs targeting that new high a day. Without that, no trade, because without that right now, we see we're within this range. We see that we are failing to find any continuation to the upside because sellers keep pushing it lower. We're failing to push any lower because buyers keep finding us on the downside and pushing us back higher. So when we recognize price action is like that, that's when we most definitely want to be leaving it alone. Gold might have been pulling back for a short entry up here. I'm done with gold. We're done for the day, guys. Killer of a day. Hope you guys were able to take some nice profits too. ES did pretty well, and yeah. I'd be looking for us to continue higher based off of the 30-minute analysis on ES and NQ now. So I'd be patient on that, guys. YouTube, man, make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe button. I do appreciate the support. Always putting out some good stuff for you guys. Going live Monday and Friday on YouTube, and Monday through Friday for community here at Bullishbrs. I like weighted index trying to hold up. VIX is trying to move lower again. That's great. Definitely, again, still leaning more bullish right now. Pretty choppy price action. I personally wouldn't take any trades. I lost before I joined. All right, man. That's all right. It happens. Now you know you got to join here first. But as long as you manage your loss, right? Our job as traders isn't to make money. Our job as traders is to secure and maintain our profits and our accounts, right? If we could say, let's say you get a new 50K account on Apex, and I'll bring it up. New 50K account on Apex, and you have your trail stop is 2,500, your profit goal is 3,000. Well, as a new trader, you don't want to try to pass it in one day or else you're going to get aggravated and you're not going to be prepared for your funded account if you pass it. You want to trade your 50K eval just like you would trade your funded account. So let's say your trail stop's 2,500. Well, we're not going to risk 30% of 2,500 because then our risk will be very small. Actually, 2,500, 30% risk is, I believe, $450 times 0.30. That's $750. That's way too much. Because, guys, let's be real. Let's look at it as if we were trading this as this is our account side, our trail threshold, 2,500. Your real risk on that, if you were trading a little aggressively, would be anywhere between $100 to max $200. Now, again, we're not going to be risking just $100 per trade on some of these 50Ks, and you can. I think it's a great idea if you're just getting started and you want to get comfortable with trading first. But if we want to trade it aggressively enough where we're not over leveraging, my risk that I would recommend on 50K accounts with a trailing threshold of 2,500 with the ability to blow the account and know it's okay, but not oversize, would be anywhere between $150 and $200, because then what you'll be doing is you'll also be looking for at least a 2-to-1 and higher risk to reward wise. So if you're risking 200 to make 400, that's a great profit on a $2,500 account. If you're risking 200 to make 600, that's just a 3-to-1. We saw this morning we took a 4-to-1. That would be risking 200 to make $800, or risking 150 to make $600. These are good profits with very small risks. And when we have small risk like that, we're able to take a loss and then possibly a second loss and say, okay, that's fine. I'm still cool, calm, collected. I don't feel FOMO. I don't feel any emotional disruption because of these losses. My next trade, if I hit it, it's going to be at least a 2-to-1, and I know that. It's going to be maybe a 3-to-1, and I'm going to make all my profits back, and then some off of just the one trade. And that ability to be confident in our trading strategy and system, that we can take a loss or two without freaking out or worrying or anything, that's great. That's going to help us in the long run of not feeling that emotional aspect.
I also have that 30% take profit, so $750 for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great. What's that?
I was gonna say that's when you get into funded, right? So if you're practicing your eval the same way you do your funded, and set your take profit at that level too for the day.
Yeah, that's a good idea to set it at 750. Something to mention though with the evaluation accounts and with the 30% rule, I'm gonna show you a little trick with them. I know a lot of people think the same as you are. It's like, oh well, if you could only make 750 on the account, I don't. It's making me log in. Let me just get the login of that, and then I'll show you that little trick I was telling you about. But basically, the 30% drawdown, it does usually go based off of your initial trail, like your initial starting capital of that day. But it also measures based off of where your current profit is, based off of when you're taking your payout. So I'm gonna show you how to calculate that. Give me just 1 second to get Google going. Now I gotta figure out which Futures Fever it's under. No way it's making me log in again. Oh my goodness. Dude, I just did this. I just want to show the homies an example of the 30% rule. Alright, 30% rule. Here we go. So basically, if you have a 50K account, and let's say your best profit day was 2,000, which is way above that 30%, you would then calculate that your the 2,000, or your best trading day, divided by 0.3%, or 0.3, right? And that'll give you the 30%. That'll give you your total P&L from the day that you go to take your payout. So your total profit on your Apex, your 50K account, should be above 6,667 if your best day was $2,000. With that being said, let's say your account's only at 6,467. They might deny it, right? So a little bit over the 30%, they might deny it, and that's okay, because then you could keep trading. They don't deny it and say you have to start over. You could just trade another day and make that extra 200 that you're missing. But that is important to know, and that is important to acknowledge too, right? With the 30%, we want to be a little careful on that. Here's our 30% rule based off of the 30% 2,500 we start with, $750 max risk. So that would be definitely a bit more towards like how much you're risking that day too, how much your biggest losing day could be. And that sort of also falls into having rules where if you have your max risk on a trade is $150 to $200 and you stop yourself out after 3 losing trades, well, even if you had your max risk of 200 on those 3 losing trades, you're only down $600. You're not at that 30%. So having set rules, set risk like that will not only make you a better trader, but it'll keep you a lot cooler, calmer, and collected. 9 million payouts sold on SPX. I'm guessing earnings run up starting Wednesday like last week. Random just shot me a message. Yo, I gotta tell him to get his ass back in here. Don't want to play that one up there. Well, good morning, everybody. Oh, okay. Oh, 9 million puts. 9 million in puts sold on SPX. I'm guessing earnings run up. Yeah, if they're selling puts, that's bullish, right? So we'll keep an eye on that. I do think earnings are gonna go well this quarter. We'll have to look. We'll see. I think Apple, Microsoft. When do they report? Yeah, when do they report earnings? Earnings. You can't search. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's a little ridiculous. Can I go by market cap? Yes, I can. Oh, come on. Here we go. All right. So it's Monday. Today's Monday. So we'll see by market cap if anything comes out today. Nothing crazy. Check Tuesday. UPS, PayPal. Here's Tuesday. Tuesday we got Visa, after hours, P&G, before hours, United Healthcare. I want to see how United Healthcare responds, man. United Healthcare has been in a collapse. I thought 250 as a possible buy zone way back when it did this huge move. Yeah, look at that support near 250. That is crazy. We want to see a strong earnings report on something like United Healthcare to prompt us back in the right direction. Because right now we're over 59. Well, I suppose right now we're over 50% to the downside from all-time highs on United Healthcare. Guys, this doesn't really feel like a company that's going to go bankrupt anytime soon. So when we have a company like that that has some certainty behind it, those are the ones that buying the dip opportunity might be a good long-term position. Let's see. So this was Tuesday. Anything on Wednesday? Here's Wednesday. I'm pretty sure Apple, Microsoft, and Meta on Wednesday. So I'll be sure to cover those guys for you. That'll be on the Benzinga YouTube. I'll cover that with Paul Meeks again as well. We'll do some analysis on them. We'll go over the companies, do some technical analysis and everything. Microsoft and Meta. Wednesday after the bell. Which one? We'll see. Which one do you guys want, Microsoft or Meta? Whichever one I cover, I'll probably end up covering the other one as well. Probably Microsoft's a larger market cap. Thursday, I believe Thursday's Apple? A lot of earnings on Wednesday, holy cow. Yep, there's Wednesday's Apple and Amazon. Thursday, after bell, Amazon, Apple. Cover those two on Benzinga. And we'll see if Friday's giving us anything. I'm going to go with no on Friday. That we're not getting any strong earnings. Wednesday, and Thursday are pretty loaded. Yo, Thursday's loaded up, man. Oh my goodness. It's got everything as earnings. Yeah, Exxon, Chevron, nothing major. Nintendo, nothing major on Friday, but Wednesday and Thursday after the bell. Oh, no way. Kramer F-bomb on live TV.
Right now, tariffs already stunting world growth while markets shrug. That's the headline. Our biggest problem is we have so much growth that the Fed won't cut. What the fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my. I'm so sorry. I take it right back. Everybody, I take it right back.
I take it right back. That's great. That is really funny. He goes, what the oh, oops. That is funny, man. Oh, YouTube guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Join me. I'll go live again this Wednesday if you guys keep hitting that like button as well, and Fridays, and of course join our community Monday through Friday. Oh man, Mr. Concentrator, man, have a good one. Good seeing you. Ooh, Ricardo, Brody, I'm so sorry, guys. Having some tough days. It's okay. Oh, got it to break even. Okay, gonna journal mistakes. All right, live to trade another day, guys. Always, always. I'm glad I took this orb as our target, and the reason for that, guys, is because our breakout over here on the orb, volume was not picking up. We were very range-bound price action, and volume was not giving us the sign of a breakout. So it was a great range trade that we were still able to take for more than a 4-to-1 risk to reward. On that note, guys, I hope you all had a great trading day. If you did not have a good trading day, I hope you were able to at least learn something, whether it's learning something like, okay, I learned that I have to risk less per trade. I learned that I have to create my pre-market plan. I learned that I have to watch volume closer. I learned that I have to watch that recent day's highs and lows in range. Got to be able to take something from your day. That's what makes it a successful trading day. Guys, have a great day. I will see you all on tomorrow. And any questions, please feel free to shoot me a message. Later, everybody.
I learned that I have to follow.
Later, Kevin.
Later. What'd you say, Mike?
I said I learned I have to follow Kevin.
There you go. That's a good learn right there. All right.
Thanks. See you tomorrow.
You got it. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow. And YouTube guys, don't forget I do offer one-on-one mentorship. If anybody is interested, you can check out my website, tradingpioneers.net. Offer one-on-one mentorships. I have a 2-month program. It's $2,000 for Bullishbrs members. It's $1,500 because they already have access to my one-on-one, my 8-part program. But it's really important to get your trading in track and sort of have somebody that holds you accountable. Because if you don't have that somebody to hold you accountable, all it takes is one bad trading day. You blow your account, you're back to square one. And that's not how we want to trade, because then you're going to find yourself in an ongoing loop, and where you might think, oh, well, I don't want to get a coach. I don't want to pay for somebody to teach me or pay for blah, blah, blah. But guys, I promise, myself, it took me a couple years to get consistent with trading. It wasn't until I had a coach, a mentor, say, okay, listen, let me teach you what I use because I'm in a position where you want to be, and this is how I use it. Let me teach you. It's that hands-on that really brings you from level 1 to level 2. So guys, I will see you next time. Check out the website, tradingpioneers.net. If you go to resources, I do offer a free trading journal right over here. You could download it